Tyler Rose. I'm your host, Gizmo, and it is time for the TKR Spotlight Artist of the Day. And we are joined by Naya. How are you today?
I'm so good. Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you, and it's great to have you on. It's a little bit lonely here today. Francesca, unfortunately, has a family crisis to attend to first thing this morning, so
No.
she sends her apologies, but I told her no need to apologize. Family comes
Yeah.
first, right?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, I hope everything's okay, and I hope I'm able to keep you good enough company.
Oh, absolutely. I'm a pretty simple human being, so it should be pretty easy for you.
Awesome.
Okay, so you've got a performance coming up this Thursday, right?
Yes, I do. I'm performing at the Hoozle app launch show at the Rivoli on January 23rd, so this Thursday.
Excellent. That's definitely going to be a lot of fun. We will definitely see you there. And so now people know that you're going to perform. Let's sort of backtrack here and sort of a brief introduction to how you got to where you were. So can you sort of share a little bit about maybe your upbringing and your early exposure to music?
Yeah, absolutely. So my mom was always super musical. There was always music in the house. She was always playing piano, always singing kind of thing. But when I was a kid, I was really insecure with my music because I thought my mom was so perfect and she was like my standard of what music had to be. And as a kid, I was just like, I'm not that kind of thing. And so I ended up actually going into acting before I found my way to music. But that's where I really fell in love with storytelling. And I learned to build a bunch of confidence with public speaking and to tapping into different characters and to understanding how to go about expressing different things. And so I did that throughout my teenage years. Ultimately, I got to 2019 and I was like, I don't want to regret another year of not going for music. And I had come across a producer through a mutual friend at that point, and the rest is kind of history. I released my first song in 2019, and now I'm here.
That's fantastic. I'm curious. You doing acting? Did you was it more theatre, TV, musical? Like what type of acting did you sort of start out with?
Yeah, so I started in theater, but then when I was around 12, I mainly focused on like film and television.
Oh, right. That's super cool. Yeah, I did some sort of theatre in high school.
Cool.
Being from the UK, it was Shakespeare, so running around in tights, looking a bit ridiculous. But you certainly sort of get away. You sort of learn how to, like you said, sort of take those experiences that aren't yours and sort of bring them out and tell that story.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to the music, are there sort of any particular artists who influenced your music? Are there any sort of people you say that is the that's the person who really sort of helped me see my music or hear my music, I should say?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Oh my goodness. I always say that Halsey and her album Badlands, that like birthed me as an artist, as a person. I remember hearing that when I was in like grade 9, beginning of high school, and I was like, wait, I feel so seen and I feel like such a sense of identity in this music, in this songwriting, in this artist. So Halsey is like one of my favorites forever and ever. But my goodness, I love any good song kind of thing. I'm not stuck to any one genre. So I love so many different artists. I really love K-pop as well. BTS and their focus on mental health and self-love was really monumental and impactful for me when I was starting music. And I'm really looking forward to their comeback. But no, I love so many different artists. I've been to so many like Hair Nation like rock shows with my dad. I love Alice Cooper. I love Kiss. Like anyone. I love all music. I love all art.
That's fantastic to hear. Speaking of all art, let's hear some of your art. This is It Should Be You by Naya here on the Kindness Revolution Morning Show.
In the back of my mind, with the memories that are meant to die, got you out of my sight, but you found a way to get around my eyes. The cheap smell of your cologne, car radio playing Post Malone, order and take out and leave it alone.
Revolution Morning Show, our TKR Spotlight Artist of the Day, sponsored by Toronto Musicians Hub. She joins us on the phone this morning. Thank you again so much for joining us. That's absolutely fantastic. I know it's super early, and we've probably had quite a busy weekend.
Oh, good. Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely. So, your songwriting, basically, what would you say, how do you typically start your songwriting process?
Oh my goodness. Honestly, it's different every single time. There's been so many times where I've been like driving in the car and then like a line or two will come to me and I'll have to ask Siri to text it to myself. Or I'll hear a melody that I really like and I'll voice note it on my phone. But with the Avoidant EP, two of the songs, the first two actually, It Should Be You and Jokes on Me, so one of the songs you just heard, I wrote them with Jonathan Kakar. He's an amazing producer here in Toronto. And with those ones, it really came with an instrumental melody first. For It Should Be You, we wrote it on guitar, and then Jokes on Me was written on piano. And that was originally just kind of setting up the chords, getting like an overall instrumental production feel. And then we started to figure out, okay, what are we wanting to say? What's the concept? What would be interesting to talk about? And I believe we did the choruses first.
Okay. So what would you say then is your favorite part of the process then?
My favorite part of the process, it really goes back to the storytelling that like I fell in love with from acting. I love lyrics. I love the character development that you can showcase in a song, or the struggle, some kind of problem or issue to overcome. I love that bit of connection because it's what people can really relate to, and obviously all the other elements enhance the storytelling, whether it is through lyrics or not. But it comes down to the communication and the connection through music from the story.
Okay, so and that's an important thing, like the connection, the communication. Like, how do you make sure, like when you're in a studio with a producer and recording, how do you make sure that your music doesn't get altered too much and it's still sort of that raw storytelling that you want? Like, did you find it difficult to keep control? Because there are some producers out there who will kind of go their own way and think they know best. But let's face it, the artist creates the music, the producer is there to just do all the tech work, at least from my opinion. So have you ever had any sort of issues or challenges with that?
Luckily on this EP, everyone that I collaborated with was really dedicated to the project and to my vision. Obviously, they were able to offer their expertise and their own opinions, but at the end of the day, they were really, really keen on helping me achieve what I was looking for. And so this process was absolutely fantastic. There was no experience where someone else took control or pushed back on what I thought was a good idea. But everyone really contributed and helped to grow my idea beyond what I could see by myself to be the best version of itself for the EP. So it was such a great experience. It was very collaborative. And yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. Speaking of collaboration, the next song we're going to play, Coming Down, I see you're not the only name on this song. Can you tell us a little bit about this song before we go into it? Kindness, a Revolution Morning Show with myself, Gizmo, and over there is Susie. And we've invented a new game. What's the name of the game, Susie?
It is called Whack-A-Troll.
We are joined by Frankie August, all the way from Down Under, or maybe she's a fat balding man from New Jersey. I don't know. John from the North Cafe Project. Would you like to determine who it is? And stop, I don't recalling anything that requires an apology. Second up, if Frankie is upset, if I've supposedly done something, it will probably be more productive. She comes to talk to me directly.
That's incredibly inappropriate. I think, who's HR? Who do we bring into this kind of conversation? Stand for kindness here, and it's really not hard to be kind.
All the way in the future, on the other side of the planet.
Down under.
You going down under this evening on Valentine's Day?
I mean, is it Gizmo? Is that?
No, it really isn't difficult to...
I thought you were a man. So
if you like the music and you thought I was a man, but now are apologising to Sith Incoming Girl. That just means that the AI is working really well, right?
Right, exactly.
I'm HR.
You can't be HR. HR's not.
The kicker. I get a message at 5 minutes to 5 in the morning going, write a message to Frankie this morning. Apologise for thinking that she's a man from New Jersey in the comments from Jacob Era.
Firstly, more appropriate. Secondly, more likeable. Thirdly, me. From the facts. You're fired.
You can't fire me. I quit.
Welcome to the family business. Woo!